we were going to wrap up the Dr. Disrespect stuff. So I want to start with the report that came out, because there were a lot of people saying that this was a conspiracy. I've never seen anything like it. And I'm going to give you an example, actually, of how ridiculous it got at one point. I have no idea why anyone would circulate this stuff. People like Grums, like, just uncritically sharing this stuff, it's like beyond irresponsible, and it's like antithetical. Like, you can't criticize journalists for not getting the whole story, and then you circulate nonsense like this without giving it any critical thoughts whatsoever. So this was doing the rounds. And you can see here, Call of Shame. I don't even know who that is, but breaking news. Confirmed. Dr. Disrespect was reported by Twitch to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children when they were illegally recording Whispers by the Dot back in 2017. By the way, there's nothing confirmed about whether it was illegal or not. So, I mean, even in the confirmed bit, there is a lie. Right? A full investigation was authorized and no wrongdoing was found and no illegal activity took place by Dr. Disrespect. Again, this is potentially wrong. We have no way to ascertain that because we haven't seen the messages. No arrests were made and no charges were filed, thus adding more weight that Dr. Disrespect is innocent. Innocent of what? We are not even talking about crime. We are talking about appropriate conduct, right, for a platform. And by his own admission, Dr. Disrespect said, I had messages with a minor that veered towards the inappropriate. That's what he said. So why are people climbing over themselves to like try and defend this shit? I don't get it. Then, unconfirmed, it is also reported, it is not reported, let me assure you, that the minor was actually a former Twitch employee pretending to be a 17-year-old girl and trying to bait Dr. Disrespect with entrapment techniques while the ex-Twitch mods illegally recorded it all. Think about this for a second. What is more likely, that a popular influencer had messages that veered towards the inappropriate with a young girl, or that the platform of which he was rapidly becoming the face set up a layer cake of entrapment because they didn't like him? They were all fired soon after and sued by Dr. Disrespect's legal team. Again, there is no lawsuit filing around any of this. So when people talk about a lawsuit, right, understand no one's been able to find any legal filings around any of this. That doesn't mean it didn't go to arbitration because it was a contract dispute. I'm sure, much like other companies, it's probably in Twitch, once you're a partner, you have to go to arbitration to settle any disputes, right? So anyway, they are very bitter over this and why this whole thing is coming out for the second time after it has already been dealt with. It never came out. It never came out. This is garbage. And like I say, I've seen so many just mentalists, people with the fucking eye pyramid in their fucking avatar, saying, yeah, globo homo and the leftist agenda want to take down Dr. Disrespect. I showed you on the last stream, I had a guy accusing me of being a fucking Democrat operative. It's like, guys, what are we doing? So anyway, this is the type of nonsense that was going around, and it is just patently ridiculous. And so I will take us back to the actual report, which was done by Rod Breslau and Miles Klee. Now, as you'll know, this is something of a vindication for Rod because he did the stupid fucking tweet and said, I know what he's done, and trust me, it's serious, but I can't say. And like, journalists should just never say that. It's like like all the journalists that came out now, all the people coming out now, it's like, it's trash. You know, did I hear the rumors? Yeah. But that's what they were. They were rumors. Did I get smoking gun evidence? No. Do you know how I didn't? Because I didn't publish it and I didn't say anything about it. You're meant to be a journalist. You don't traffic in innuendo and you don't get to claim W's for the stories you don't publish but know about. So anyway, and Rod knows this. And he said as much. It was a really fucking dumb thing to say. But anyway, he got to do the report that he wanted to do back in the day in 2020. And he published it in Rolling Stone, everyone's favorite Saudi-funded vertical. And you can see the headline: Dr. Disrespect knowingly sent explicit messages to a minor. Because the other defense, all the Chuddersphere were doing, was, well, what if he didn't know? And listen, I agree. Context matters, right? So if someone messages him and he's just going, yeah, blah, 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 I'm gripping it right now, boom. More on that in a moment. If he's doing that, and then the person partway through goes, oh, I'm like underage. Oh, fuck. Please disregard all previous messages. Bye. That's different to if they know. But this report says they have sources that say he knew, right? And you can see, 4 years after gamer celebrity and streaming star Dr. Disrespect, 42, was banned from Twitch for undisclosed reasons, reports emerged. By the way, he never got hit with the 42-year-old man, did he? He never got hit with that one. Was banned from Twitch for undisclosed reasons. Reports emerged this week that he allegedly used the Amazon-owned platform's direct messaging feature to send sexually explicit text to a minor. Now the internal response to those alleged conversations, long a subject of rumor and speculation, is finally coming to light. In June 2020, there was a Me Too reckoning within the gaming community, with dozens in the industry leveling more than 70 allegations of sexual misconduct and assault against high-profile streamers, esports broadcasters, and games developers. Twitch responded to the outcry on June 21st, 2020, promising to take strong and immediate action on credible allegations against their creators. We take accusations of sexual harassment and misconduct extremely seriously, the company said in a statement. We are actively looking into the accounts concerning streamers affiliated with Twitch and will work with law enforcement where applicable. Guy Beam, aka Dr. Disrespect, a flamboyant game personality and one of the most popular creators on Twitch, with 4 million followers at the time, was permanently banned from the platform 5 days later. We'll skip about the Battle Royale. Soon after, Discord cut him loose from their partnership program, reserved for the most active and popular server communities. And, as I reminded everyone on the last video, even Giphy removed GIFs of Dr. Disrespect. Everyone's like, well, what the fuck's going on? They're unpersoning him. Beam went on to sue Twitch over financial losses and reputational damages. Again, no one has seen a lawsuit around this. It almost certainly took place through arbitration, and settled with the company in 2022. Neither party admitted to any wrongdoing, and the details of this legal agreement remain unclear. Meanwhile, the cause for the ban remained a mystery, prompting years of innuendo, conspiracy theories, and questions about why neither Twitch nor gaming journalists have been able to reveal the nature of Beam's violation. The gossip reached a fever pitch on June 21st when former Twitch employee Cody Connors, without naming Beam, tweeted what many interpreted as an explanation of why he'd been banned. Beam denied any wrongdoing in a tweet the following day. I didn't do anything wrong. All this has been probed and settled. Nothing illegal. No wrongdoing was found. By the way, as I said, one of the worst defenses of all time. But after independently reviewing internal Twitch communications and interviewing a source with knowledge of the situation, Rolling Stone has learned that Beam was kicked off the platform in 2020 for allegedly sexting a minor through a messaging feature called Whispers, even after learning she was underage. He also allegedly inquired about her plans to attend TwitchCon, the company's semi-annual gaming convention. It then reiterates his defense, and then we get to the quotes. A former Twitch Trust and Safety employee who worked for the platform at the same time Beam was banned and has direct knowledge of the matter, confirmed to Rolling Stone that Beam continued to send sexually graphic messages to a minor he knew to be underage. This former employee, who requested anonymity to avoid jeopardizing their career, also said that crucial elements of Beam's latest defensive tweet are inaccurate. I recall that Dr. Disrespect was made aware by the individual that they were underage during the conversation, after which he indicated that this was no problem and continued on. There was no confusion. Messages sent after this was acknowledged were no less graphic and in sexually explicit nature than before. And I think more than the categorization of leaning too much in the direction of being inappropriate might indicate. The ex-Twitch employee has also provided Rolling Stone a more detailed account of internal conversations at Twitch following the report of Beam's messages and his subsequent ban. They say the detail of Beam's case are coming out because of Connor's explosive tweet last week. Cody definitely got the ball rolling. Me and many of my former colleagues are only comfortable speaking up now because of it. Our priority is always to the safety of the alleged victim and to keep their identity secret. Then there's this part of the story as well that wasn't known to the public. YouTube's former head of gaming partnerships at Google, Ryan Wyatt, you know him as Fwiz probably, confirmed to Rolling Stone that Beam was not offered a contract due to chatter about the circumstances of his Twitch ban. He says that a Twitch employee and journalists investigating the incident told YouTube employees that it involved inappropriate messages to a minor. The unfortunate part of it all was there were so many rumors circulating in the industry, one that a minor was involved, but no one produced first-hand knowledge or evidence, and because of these rumors, there was no reason to entertain doing any deal with Beam, and no evidence produced means you can't act on a terms of service violation. The whole situation got even more confusing when Twitch settled and effectively said no wrongdoing, which made everyone in the industry dismiss the rumors, but even still, there was never a reason to do a deal with him after that ban. So, this quote for me is the most, important around the story, because it was widely theorized Dr. Disrespect got the bag when he went to YouTube. Oh no, there was no bag, because everyone in the industry, by the way, this is why, don't believe any of these streamers, don't believe any of these big streamers saying they hadn't heard it. This is one of these rumors that went around and everybody heard the rumor. It's just it was such a potentially devastating rumor to try and process, most people couldn't believe it. But they absolutely cannot say they didn't hear it, right? And so I've seen all the streamers, there's been more of them, you know, the clips on live stream fail where they're all going, oh, I just want to say about the doc how hard it is for me, the most important person in the story, right? So you got that. He didn't get the bag because he was considered a toxic asset. Then people at YouTube had heard the fucking rumor. They heard the rumor to the point they were like, we're not entering into business with you, but we can't ban you from the platform. This is what I mean when I say, if I was the doc, I'd have been like, I don't get how he can play victim in any of this. He got an extra fucking 3.5, 4 years of a career he just didn't deserve to have. It's crazy. And it confirms what I said on the last video, which was why I didn't publish the story was I didn't get kill shot evidence. I didn't see the messages. I didn't even see an email chain where it was confirmed the reason why he got removed. I had primary sources, but no primary pieces of evidence. And so I didn't publish the story. And then while I was working on the story, the zone got flooded with so much shit, probably deliberately by Twitch, probably partially to do with the doc's talent agency, maybe the doc himself, maybe streamers covering for him. I don't know. There were 3 different versions. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this is just a mess. And people sat there, we sifted, we tried, but in the end, it was impossible to get to the truth and with compelling evidence that met the evidentiary standard to publish in public. Finally, you can see a spokesperson for CAA, Beam's talent agency, since signing in 2019, tells Rolling Stone he is no longer a client and hasn't been for some time. So, not even at that talent agency anymore. More on the people walking away from him in just a moment. But now...
how's it going?
Yeah, there you go.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing? This is, by the way, for those who don't know, this is Rod Slasher Breslau, the guy who wrote the story on Rolling Stone and made the unbelievably stupid tweet.
Wait a minute. I was here to watch the EWC introduction. I was told you were a hashtag EWC partner.
Yeah,
Am I in the wrong stream?
Yeah, you're in the wrong stream, unfortunately. I'm not co-streaming. Have you actually been watching it?
Yeah, it's been a great time. Great event, great opening ceremony, lots of fireworks and Tower 1 and
nice.
Super interesting. I thought this was where the after intro show was going to be held.
No, it's just a further continuation of your media tour. Because I've noticed you've been on all the big news channels like Hamas Piker and I think you went on Destiny's and you got owned by Dan. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I want to... Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Okay. Owned by Dan?
You did.
If that is your reading of it, then I am doomed. That is not...
You failed to correctly
Dan
articulate why you didn't publish the story.
A stupid person.
Dan's not stupid.
Okay, no, I know that because I've been watching him and Destiny and you and that show. That was great. He doesn't seem stupid, which was why I don't understand what the hell was happening for few hours there.
Anyway, let's talk about your report.
Also, by the way, speaking of aliens,
yeah,
how about that Dan Clancy interview with Mizkif?
Yeah, I did see that because I was gonna add it to this video because there was the clip where. Yeah, he said about Dr. Disrespect, right? And for those who haven't seen the clip, he said, "Oh, the reason Dr. Disrespect was banned is we found out we were in a quantum reality, and the only way
aliens came down.
Yeah, aliens had come down, and we were in a quantum reality, and the aliens had taken over, and the only way we could defeat the alien takeover was by banning Dr. Disrespect, and that's what they did." And it's like, look, I get it. He legally can't talk about, because I'm guessing it went through arbitration. We'll talk about the nuts and bolts of the case in a bit, but
it did.
Yeah, which is why there's trust me, I've hunted high. I've got a pacer account, and I need a pacemaker after fucking talking to you for 5 minutes. But I got a pacer account, and there's no record of any lawsuit that everyone's talking about. Nope. So it must have gone through arbitration, and I imagine it was contractually obliged to go through arbitration. So anyway, So I get it. I get why he can't say anything. But I also, if I was him, I wouldn't be flippant about it. I wouldn't make jokes, given what we know now, because it makes you look really cold. Everyone else has been well, the reason we didn't report it, the reason we didn't say anything is because we care about the victims, and we took this very seriously, and da-da-da. But then it's the CEO of Twitch is alien invasion, lol. And it's I don't know, mate. Optically, that's not good, right? So, yeah, I did see that. That, unfortunately.
Very bad. Very bad. I'm not excused. I mean, of course, I'm sure you've seen Cody's the tweet many months ago of him in the concert and then me replying. Also bad. Not good, considering...
They made way more of that than it was, though. I mean, look, it's it's very hard for you. And this is, I guess, where we can kind of talk a little bit about, how you've handled it. Because I get it. People probably don't realize how much how much the reaction to that tweet sort of fucked your life up. Because you went from being one of the GOAT esports journalists. Some would argue the GOAT, but I'm the GOAT, obviously. But some would say the GOAT.
Yeah, there's no disputing that. The thing is that I went beyond esports. Okay.
Yeah,
you've been the GOAT of esports.
Hey, right? I was at Breitbart for 6 months.
Basically, what happened is I made a stupid fucking tweet, and then the rest of you have had to deal with Jake Lucky for the last 3 years. So this is all on you guys. Okay.
Well, hang on.
It's your fault that you have Jake Lucky now. Right?
You gave us Jake Lucky. It's your fault.
Okay.
If you had
no,
100%. Listen, if you don't make that stupid tweet and get shit on and render yourself, by the way, it should never have gone this far. The idea you're non-credible because of that tweet, but internet's gonna internet, right? So basically, you were the proto Jake Lucky. You've always been ahead of the curve on social media. You're the reason we all had verified Twitter accounts back in the day, right?
So you can take you on for that now.
Yeah, well, yeah. Now you just have to pay fucking that.
Any $10 Groiper dipshit can have that.
Yeah, it's true. But anyway, you were always ahead of the curve. You always understood how to manipulate this stuff, and you always knew what fucking what makes a tweet go viral or not. And all you still got 400,000 Twitter followers, and you had you were doing the Jake Lucky thing where it's here is a story, here is a screenshot of the story, here is some connected parts of the story, here is a link in the reply. You were doing all of that shit before Jake Lucky. Then you get got because of your stupid tweet, and then Jake Lucky, who literally, he'd been on the out, he'd already been disgraced and pushed out of CSGO reporting. He started out as CSGO News, and then just published a bunch of fake shit. And then suddenly became esports news. Nobody cared who Jake Lucky was. Nobody cared. And then in the absence of Leak Boy, in the absence of Rod Slasher Breslau, Jake Lucky became the new one. It's listen, I have to say, I wasn't always a fan of your tweets. Always thought it was a bit reductive, but you got to be careful about who you get rid of, because sometimes you might get a worse monster. In that sense, you're kind of like the Vladimir Putin of Twitter.
Thank you, Richard. That I think is supportive.
In a way.
I think in a way, depending on who your audience is currently, thanks a lot, man. That's really appreciate that. Really do appreciate
just saying, get rid of him, but some of those potential people taking over are worse. So
I haven't said it here specifically, and I did it on Destiny and Hassan. Look, I made a really fucking stupid tweet. You know, I made a really fucking stupid
it was
tweet.
dumb as
Talking
fuck.
about this imperfect. It was fucking dumb as hell.
Yeah.
I totally understand that I made a really stupid fucking tweet, and that I should have never made the fucking tweet, and that a lot of the pain that I got was self-inflicted.
Yeah.
It was definitely my fault. I am fully aware of all that. So for all of you out there, I get it.
But also the fact, let's go to the Dan clip that was up on the Destiny subreddit and doing the round.
Must we?
Well,
it went for hours and hours.
I know, but just to summarize it,
it's a clip out of context, but okay.
Yeah,
sure.
no, I'm not going to play the clip, right? Because we're talking. So, all right, okay. For context, what happened was Dan said something along the lines, and I'm paraphrasing, of if you knew, why didn't you publish the story? For example, if I sent you a video of Destiny and he was like killing a dog, and you knew it was 100% genuine, not deep-faked video, and I show it to you, but you don't have the video, you can then go and publish a story, Destiny murders dog, and you should, because that is a news story. And what you failed to articulate is, and what Dan didn't really get into is, you couldn't publish that story, actually. You couldn't. I mean, because what you have to think about is, first of all, there's the evidentiary standard. I would need to verify the video. I'd need to take it.
I did say I would need the video. I would say
yeah. Okay, but then the other component is, it's not just the evidentiary standard that you have to meet. There is also a component of, if you don't have, like, for example, a physical copy of the evidence that you are specifically referencing, and then your publication gets litigated against, and your editor comes to you and says, right, we're getting sued for that story. We are going to have to enter at least partially redacted, chat logs or whatever it was into the record so we can defend ourselves. And you go, oh, oopsie, you haven't got them. You're fired. Like, you're out of a job. Like, the editor is firing you for journalistic malpractice, and they are hopefully settling that lawsuit. And by the way, many such cases in real journalism, sometimes where journalists don't want to give up sources, they want to protect their sources, sometimes that they're unable to produce or replicate the evidence. And this has happened at all the top publications over the world. So for me, that's all you have to say to Dan, and his point becomes really, really fucking stupid. And you were right not to publish the story. I'm probably the only guy who's going to tell you this, because I'm one of the only guys equipped that you've talked to that actually understands the mechanics of journalism. You were absolutely right not to publish the story. In fact, it's, as I said, you were one of the guys that I was talking to when I was working on the story. We shared some notes at the time, and as well as I do, there wasn't even one cohesive story that made sense. And you also know that the minor part, that came later. That wasn't the first story.
No.
I remember. Well, it wasn't for me.
I know it was not for you, but I was made aware of this aspect pretty early on.
Okay. But
we've discussed this many times. Having that been able to be printed was, as you know, impossible.
Yeah.
Because of the being 99%, which is what my tweet was, which is stupid, and being 100% are two different things.
Yes, completely.
And so even if because there was always a tiny bit of doubt in the actual reality of what happened, let alone getting people to be comfortable printing something on the record, even if it is anonymous, was such a difficult bar to clear.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that did it for me, the thing that put the pin in the story was, as I said, the story kept changing partway through. I think parties acting on behalf of Twitch and the doc flooded the zone with shit. I think that's what went on. And
very possible.
And then, like you said, 99% isn't 100. And I wouldn't even say I was at 99. If one person had just produced an email, right? That say an email exchange. This is why Doc went. Nobody did that. If somebody had produced even screenshots of the messages,
did not exist.
Did not exist. If somebody had got the arbitration documents or later, like down the line, when the lawsuit, when the legal stuff started happening, could have revisited the story then. Nope, that's all sealed, redacted. Good luck, can't get that.
Still sealed.
Yep.
Still sealed. Mm-hmm. Even the document, which was the internal trust and safety thing that has been leaked in the last week or so.
Yeah, you saw that too, I guess, right?
Yeah, even that was not produced.
Yeah.
Since
that wasn't produced at the time.
No, that wasn't produced either. And that was one of my main pieces of information shortly after, which made me do the tweet. I did have a source from Trust and Safety that was reading the report of the document that I eventually got, a week and a half ago, since it leaked, since Cody happened. Yeah. I was getting someone telling me that they were reading what I eventually had saw with my own eyes 2 weeks ago, but he would not give me a screenshot of what he was reading, or he could not produce the actual document itself. Yeah. So it was...
Which, by the way, that would be a massive red flag to me. Like, I mean, I get lots of, like...
Of course.
I get lots of people who say stuff to me like, I got a story for you, big story, and then they tell you the story, and you go, okay, right, well, I'm gonna have to see. Can you screen share even, or something? No, just give me something, and they can't. So this
person was credible.
Sure,
I was able to verify the person did work at Twitch, and they did work in Trust and Safety at that time. So it was someone who would have had access to the information, but they were just, even to this day, extremely fearful, especially if you were working at Twitch at the time, of any potential ramifications that could come at them. So it never got to the point where, even if I had like 50 secondhand sources and a primary source who won't talk on the record and or produce any documentation, it was just not possible.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, that's it. I mean,
But I didn't fucking lie, okay?
No.
I made a really fucking tweet. I did not fucking lie.
No.
I'm stupid. I'm just not a liar.
No. And look, you weren't the only one, by the way. Like, everyone, and like, this is why it's like so weird that people are like all coming out and going, oh yeah, I knew, and it's like, fuck, man. Like, it's not like this wasn't a fucking open secret. It wasn't like, people were just openly saying this all of the time. It's like that was another thing that made me feel like so off about it, because it was like, I don't know, what if it isn't true? And it was just like everyone's saying it. It got to a point. That's why I don't know what you think of this, but all these streamers who are like coming out and going, "Oh, this is news to me," like, fuck off. Fuck off.
I mean, it's so absurd, because obviously they had heard. I had personally gone around in my investigating to ask people what they knew or what they had heard, and then I would divulge certain pieces of information. It's not like everyone was in the dark.
Yeah.
About this. Like what Ryan Wyatt said to me on the record after, that they did not give Doc a deal as he was the head of YouTube.
That was a good detail in the report. I was just saying that. That was a nice touch.
I really tried to get him to speak on this aspect. Still getting anyone to put their name has been relatively impossible.
Yes.
I do feel like, as I was trying to explain to Dan, this would be one of those times where anonymous sources would be warranted, I feel. And I feel like other publications, I feel like this is the right thing to do. I don't think denying these reports happening because they refuse to be set as anonymous would be good practice. So I feel like that is okay to do here. So they're still fearful of any of them, ex or current employees, wanting to put their name
obviously, it's why I couldn't believe Cody just fucking tossing the hand out.
I don't know, man.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. I actually still cannot tell you. I cannot tell you. I was not given a heads up. Okay, this is not fucking me and him like working together behind the scenes. Oh, you're gonna tweet something ambiguous, and then I'm gonna tweet something ambiguous, and then Doc is gonna tweet something himself because he's an idiot, and then it's all just gonna come flooding through, and somehow magically we're gonna get there. No, that was not.
I messaged him, dude. I was like, "Are you all right?"
That's literally the exact same message that I sent to him. Like, bro, are you good? Are you hanging off like the Golden Gate Bridge right now? Is
Yeah,
something happening?
yeah, it was crazy, but I mean, obviously, like, I mean, Cody himself, for those that don't know, Cody was a journalist as well. You know, what you worked with him at On Gamers, right? I worked with him at Dot Esports, I think. Well, Daily Dot, I think it was back
Yep,
then.
me, Cody, Travis, Thorin,
The Dream Team.
Matt, the dream team.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing I
But
didn't
he
do
was an
anything
editor. Was
really
he like an
stupid there
editor or sub
either.
editor or
Yeah,
something? Yeah.
he was our
Yeah,
editor.
he was the editor, right? So,
He
so I
was-
mean,
yeah,
this
he
is
was-
a
yeah.
guy. This is a guy who definitely understands, like, what the potential risks are if you don't have evidence. And he felt comfortable doing that tweet. I just don't know. It just came out of fucking left field that he just like one Friday night, he's probably like drinking an IPA or something, and he thought, yeah, you know what, fuck it. It's been like 4 years. It's time, and he's just fucking done that. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh fucking hell. And what the good news is, journalists were able to get it over the line this time. The thing that bothers me, and obviously Doc has now admitted it, so I mean, you think that would be the end, but people are now making up allegations that it was all one big conspiracy theory, and that
Obviously, those tweets are fucking bullshit. I mean, look, it's possible. It's possible that there is a conspiracy cover-up. I've found no evidence. I have found nothing to support that is the case. There is still undetermined information, which makes some things suspect. As in, like, I do not have any details of the legal agreement still.
yeah.
It did go through arbitration. Like you, I have sent in 1 million Pacer reports at one time for every fucking courthouse in Southern California, and there is nothing. There were people from Washington Post before the launcher got shuttered that did the same. There is no public court records at all on this. I have not been able to get from none of my sources that did speak were able to know any of the details on the arbitration or of the case of why he got paid and why he's been able to use that statement that he quote unquote was no wrongdoing. I mean, there are some like reasonable speculation of why that could be the case, but it also leaves open the door, I think, because of the lack of information. The same way that, all of the different speculation that had come out in the last 4 years about why he was banned, now people can do the same thing about why he was paid and then use that to kind of undermine everything that has been reported so far, which is frustrating. Again, it's like back to, I really think based on everything that has happened that, in my opinion, Twitch did a good job because no one knows anything, because they had stuck to their guns, the people that worked there, and never said a fucking word to anybody this entire time for 4 years, up until Cody just said, fuck it, we'll do it live. If Cody didn't say fuck it and did that, and then a piece of document wasn't sent out shortly after, we still would be here on the 4-year anniversary and nothing were to have happened. So Twitch takes responsibility for letting this, grow to this certain point because of their focus on the victim itself and to make sure they are anonymous and to make sure that no details get out there. They did a great job in terms of doing what they should have been doing as their primary goal. However, it now leaves all this other stuff for the public to consume and talk about and all this shit.
I mean, sure. Like for me, I think the story. I hope there's an appetite among journalists to now shift the focus to Twitch, because I've got questions. First of all, you can definitely back channel and leak this to a journalist. Why wouldn't that happen? Obviously, we all know you're not supposed to do it. It's NDA or whatever. But like from a conscience perspective, like somebody should have leaked it and leaked it with credible evidence. I
think so too. Like I have been trying to reach back out to primary sources every 3 months for 4 years.
Yeah.
It's not like I hadn't been persistent. And of course, I'm sure Cecilia at Bloomberg had been doing the same. I have been, even till up a couple months ago, intently reaching back out to people who are primary sources who can go on the record, even anonymously, and give a detailed account of why this happened. And even then, it was no, sorry, Rod, I can't.
Yeah.
It's been very consistent of them not willing to do this.
Yeah. But like for me, like first of all, yeah, what if Twitch hadn't banked a rights, why is the payoff there? And as far as I can tell, well, what I would assume is it because it behooves them to not have the scandal go public.
It's yes. I definitely think that can be an accurate way to describe it.
Yeah. I mean, because I wrote a piece not that long ago where it was like, I did and Cecilia followed it up and, similar findings like a year later. It was basically that, pedophiles were actually using the default section on Twitch to be able to identify when children had gone live with their phones or whatever, and they would find Twitch streams with one viewer, and they would go there, and if it was a kid, they would start, talking inappropriately just in Twitch chat, just openly. And I had screenshots of this, and I sent, and by the way, one of the guys doing it, he had, not a big stream, but he had a 600 follower stream where he would be fucking streaming Euro Truck Simulator or something. And I'm like, he's doing this with impunity? These aren't even throwaway accounts. How did Twitch not have a handle on this? And I sent it all to Twitch and I said, comment please. No, nothing. Zero. They wouldn't give me an official comment. They wouldn't even address the issue. And Cecilia would do follow-up work on this, and we're in the same spot. So if I was putting the pieces together, and this is all speculation, obviously, I think Twitch, look at what happens, think, holy shit, one of the biggest streamers on our platform, arguably the face of the platform at that moment in time, has done this thing. I mean, there's also, right? Okay, I'll finish the first thought. He's done this thing. If it comes out that he's done it, it's going to look like we have a problem with people talking to minors on the platform. We're already getting stung for it. We can't allow that. I mean, we know Twitch financially has been struggling. What would that have done to advertisers? Oh, that's the fucking nonce platform, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, with all of the reporting that was already in the media, I mean, by the way, they ignored the Deserto article, just flat out. And I think it's one of the best pieces of reporting I did.
They did. It was great.
On Deserto. They totally ignored it. Cecilia, as I said, followed it up. I think it was when she was at Bloomberg. Or Forbes, can't remember. But anyway, she followed it up. They ignored that. And it's this isn't a problem you kill with silence, guys. This is something you got to take serious. The other aspect to it as to why you might go through arbitration and not have this go public. Think about the time difference. No one's brought up this point. And again, this is speculation for legal purposes. The messages happened in 2017. He was banned in 2020, supposedly after a report in 2020 prompted them to act. But the messages were from 2017.
Yes.
And yet we're told that they were monitoring them. They saw the messages. Some reporting has said that they... So... Did they
only after it was reported?
Right, but do we know that for a fact? That's what I'm saying. Do we know 100% no one saw those messages in 2017 and thought, fuck, we're not opening that Pandora's box? And if that was the case, Twitch would certainly be liable from a contract. Yes. That really throws a spanner in the works, doesn't it? Contractually so. Because if you've ignored it in 2017 and then you enforce it in 2020, so I'm just saying. And also, as we saw later, 2017 seems to have been a pretty wild year for the doc. I mean, I saw your clip on a Sand stream where you were going, he's just messaging everyone. He was just propositioning.
I mean, all sorts 2016 and 2017, I have other things that are unrelated to this specific case. About Doc, which
Oh
are
yeah.
not. It's just a pattern of behavior.
Yes.
Which is not great. Okay. That stream where he came on crying to everybody, that wasn't just like a singular incident.
No, I mean it's as I said. I mean, looking at it, like what we saw at the time, and again, this is just gossip, so you just don't report this stuff. But I mean, it was like, I mean, it was clear that this was someone who, I don't know. I mean, looks almost like a fucking sex addict, doesn't it? Like messaging tons of people. It was just crazy, and like again, that like aspect of it obviously came out, but this part of it didn't. And that's what makes me think about, like, did somebody know in 2017? And if they knew in 2017, why didn't they act in 2017? And then if that's true, you best believe it's better for everybody if the details are all locked away somewhere.
If that's true, I have not been made aware of that.
Sure.
From all I've been made
and
aware,
I'm not saying
it was
that.
found in 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
I'm not saying that. I am just speculating because it's very strange that for me, I think if a platform catches someone doing like something inappropriate and it's that, I don't get why you would work so hard to not have that come out and be public. Because there is an issue there. I mean, if this was, again, I'll use an example. If this was predatory behavior, then, and somebody does the same thing again and again and again, and you could have stopped it there because you would have effectively ended their ability to have a platform. That's not fucking great, is it? That's not great for anybody.
Well, the responsibility is definitely to the singular victim.
Of course, always.
They
can't, another good reason not to run the story, by the way.
But everyone, who has been attacking me, especially about how like I've been protecting like Doc by not reporting it, doesn't understand not only like, not having the concrete evidence and primary sourcing to print it, but that's not how journalists are supposed to minimize harm, which is the singular victim in this specific case. I know that there is potential to save theoretical other people that could have come into contact, but that can't be on me. That needs to be on the Twitch employees to then, yes, maybe they should have leaked it sooner. But I think that's even debatable either way. Should they have leaked it sooner?
That's always a tough one.
Something?
That's always a tough one because obviously the leakers are putting their professional careers on the line. And yeah. I get that, and also
a huge part of this was Amazon is the most threatening technology legal company in the world. They own Twitch, and CAA was representing Doc, and they're the most litigious talent agency in the world. So you had two of the most threatening legal teams in the fucking world who could simultaneously both sue you.
Yeah, I talked to other journalists and people at other publications, and they were like, listen. I even ran the story up the food chain to editors, and they said, we can't touch this, because if we get this wrong, we're just another Gawker. We just get, like Pete Teal'd out of existence. You just get, So, I mean, that's another consideration. Like,
and back then, I had no fucking editor. It was just me. It was me
and
my fucking
I explained this. It's like, it's very different when you're an independent, because, I mean, what I do is, well, first of all, I'm in a union. Second of all, and they offer you legal consultation and,
But Substack doesn't give you shit, right?
No. I mean, I pay defamation insurance, which I strongly recommend all independent journalists do. So basically, what you do is you get an insurance policy, which says if you get sued for defamation and you lose and you have to pay, the insurance company will pay out up to X amount, depending on your policy. So, I'm insured for millions on that. It cost me a lot of money, but I mean, without the protection of a masthead or an editor, you have to protect yourself. And I know a lot of independent journalists don't do that because you they don't know about it. They don't know these things. I mean, people forget that, I'm not a fucking esports journalist. I was a journalist, and then I wasted my life on esports. So
bad move there.
Absolutely, 100%, mate. Can't go back. We can't go back in time. But yeah, I mean, so like, look, just to get back on track here. There was another aspect to this story, and you tweeted about this also. I'll bring up the tweet on screen. But it was that he had been when Twitch were made aware of it, they did comply and reported the incident to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So can you tell me a bit about that?
Yes. On the day, a source who is knowledgeable of the situation said that they and their team had reported Dr. Respect to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children.
Yeah.
NCMEC is responsible for all, I believe it's all technology companies or it could just be all companies in the country. But I know especially for technology companies that deal with any reports that deal with a minor, all of them get sent to NCMEC.
Yeah.
This is both CSAM and CISA, which is more this specific situation. Though the grooming aspect could be considered CSAM. Even the distinctions between CSAM and CISA are very even subjective within trust and safety professionals who are writing the reports. But all of them do go to NCMEC. NCMEC is then responsible for contacting law enforcement agencies and for working with law enforcement agencies, not Twitch and not another technology company.
Right.
So the actual investigation, or what would have been the investigation, was NCMEC's responsibility. Now, you could say that is Twitch passing off the buck to NCMEC, but this was federal, even in the new Report Act that came out this year. This is federally mandated law. NCMEC is the ones responsible for doing this for everybody. Now, NCMEC does not talk to the media, and they do not discuss any of their cases.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not public facing outside of making broad statements about like their objectives and stuff like that, right?
I have not been able to contact a current or former employee to talk about anything, that has not come up. And as we had both mentioned, no court, there's been nothing to find in the public ability to request records in terms of any type of court hearing or anything that would suggest any criminal any criminal proceedings, that those do not exist.
Yeah,
as far as I am aware. Why there was not a criminal proceeding to happen, what happened within a criminal investigation, also completely unclear. No police department has spoken on this happening or potentially happening. There's been nothing to come from any law enforcement agency regarding this specific case.
Yeah, and that's another aspect to it. I mean, again, sort of blaming journalists for not getting this out and kind of framing it as a cover-up. I don't think people realize how every avenue you could potentially go down to break a story like this was pretty much shut off. Like the Twitch and Safety Council, everyone was super flighty talking from there, because there were only a limited few of them, and even less.
Trust and safety.
Sorry,
the safety council is
not the safety council. Yeah, the trust and safety department at Twitch. There's not many of them, and there's even fewer that handled the specifics of the case. So you're potentially outing yourself if you say anything. Then if you share any information, and let's say a journalist is irresponsible with that information, you're going to get fucking sued into oblivion. So people didn't want to give primary documentation that would have showed it. Okay, that's not a problem. We can go and look up the legal filings when they come around, because everyone's talking about a lawsuit. Doc is masquerading as not knowing, which, by the way, what an insane grift that was for 4 years. He's masquerading as not knowing. So you then go and you monitor all legal activity, all legal filings from all different entities, aliases, whatever, business names. I literally had on my Pacer account, I just had anything where the word Twitch was dropped. Just bring up the lawsuit, right? And I was just sitting there. Right, what's that one? What's that one? What's that one? By the way, found some pretty hilarious lawsuits down the years, but nothing to do with this. Okay, so there's no legal filing. It's gone through arbitration, and therefore it is sealed and will never be made public unless somebody essentially breaks the law and puts the documentation out into the real world. Or I don't even think if you're a party in arbitration, you can share the documents because that violates the, covenant of privacy. So we've got that. Okay, well, listen, it must have been investigated by the police, an allegation like that. Well, okay, I happen to know law enforcement people. I've got law enforcement sources. No, nothing. I don't even know if there was an investigation, mate. Certainly my sources couldn't find any record of it whatsoever. So then you've got that. Okay, but don't worry. It's been reported to the National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children. Oh, they don't talk to anyone. They never talk to journalists. So, I mean, I don't know what more people could have done. Just shy of being super irresponsible. And this is where it gets interesting, because all of the fucking chuddosphere, all of the people like the Quartering that are like coming out
and been on my asshole for 4 years.
Yeah, all of these people coming out. Like, they're saying, why, you covered for him, why didn't you put the story out there? By the way, they flipped that switch after immediately reflexively defending him and saying it's conspiracy theory brought about by the fucking rainbow people. Right? That's the angle they were going down. But it's like, okay, let's imagine a world where that is a lie, and Doc didn't do that, and you've published it. Like, bro,
they're not coming to my defense, not monetarily, not financially, not publicly. They're just they've cyberbullied into me or someone saying something, and now they're gonna disperse.
But like, they're meant to be all about that. They're meant to be all about innocent until proven guilty. And yet here they are now trying to make an argument. Oh, journalists should have journalists covered for him. Journalists, it's like, guys, like, trust me, there was a lot of journalists on this story. Some good, some bad, right? Some journalists barely fit to wear the name. Other journalists that I respect and have a lot of time for and are capable of getting a story like this over the line, usually, and handling it with the right tone and sensitivity. But even those journalists couldn't get this. I couldn't get this. I consider myself pretty fucking good at this type of stuff. I've been told by like actual tenured journalists, so like your investigation methods would really hold up like in a real paper. So I'm very comfortable with my ability to ferret out information. But at the end of the day, what I was left with was tantamount to hearsay. And I'm not publishing that just to get clicks. I'm not going to potentially either put a victim in a weird spot, right? Or ruin somebody's reputation irreparably. Because, so no. You can't get them all. And journalists did what they could. And what certainly doesn't help is the specter of being fucking sued into oblivion. You also have to understand that, like, what, I'm just supposed to take the hit? Like, what's that philosophy? I'm just supposed to get fucking sued. 'Cause, by the way, if you publish that story, I guarantee you get hit with a lawsuit even if they know you're right.
Yes.
Right? First thing
there's even potential. Doc says he's not leaving. Look, he could come back. Maybe the stream is bigger than ever. Maybe he also launches lawsuits with his comeback. I don't actually know. But I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I mean, I'm not. I'm not. I don't think. I don't think the comeback is real now. I think with everything that's happened in the aftermath, with like, what are they called? The Midnight Society. I mean, they're nothing without Doc, and they're walking away
them
from him.
saying they didn't know is it is so absurd, though I guess plausible. Like I've known 420 Robert Bowling
Yeah,
for
yeah.
I don't know 15 years. I've known Quinn De La Hoya for a very long time. They followed me and had followed me on Twitter or still do
Mm.
through this entire time period. They were well aware of the reporting back then, of what had happened. They could have at any point reached out to me. It just seems suspect that they are going about it like, oh, okay, now we know,
Mm-hmm.
type of thing. If Ryan Wyatt of YouTube was able to get information pretty early on, we're talking like weeks following the ban, which made it seem like YouTube would never give him a partnership. I cannot believe that entire company and Midnight Society had no idea.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like for me, and it's all speculation, but I just don't understand. Like, I mean, put it this way. Obviously, they're not going to say one way or the other, but there's like two scenarios. Either they were completely oblivious to what was, as I said, a rumor that was just being circulated to the point where YouTube even used it for fucking like leverage, essentially. They didn't have to give him a contract because they weren't going to risk it from a brand perspective, but also they didn't feel comfortable like just pre-banning him from the platform. So you got that component to it. So either they didn't hear what everyone else did, and by the way, it's fine if you hear a rumor and then you go, that doesn't sound believable. But you might, if you're in business with someone, you might want to do your due diligence. You might want to ask around, and I'm pretty sure they would have had the same level of access. Remember, Discord felt comfortable removing him from the partnership program. What did they see? Who did they talk to? Giphy, as I talked, everyone forgets this detail of the story. Giphy removed all the Dr. Disrespect gifs.
That's true, they did.
Yeah.
I mean, the Discord situation is the most absurd. I have information which I don't really want to disclose, but everything around the Discord's handling of things is, I'm sure it was accurate, but not handled correctly at all.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, I mean, again, based on what I heard at the time, sounds like somebody from Twitch back-channeled to Discord and they just acted. Because I think a lot of people made an assumption about, the messages must have been on Discord. But there's no evidence of that. That's not the reported version. Nobody from Discord has even intimated that. But yet we just have this thing where he was removed. But removed, not like now, which when people know what's up and you go, oh yeah, fuck
on the
it.
day.
Yeah,
day.
On the same day that Twitch did it. So what it did, and basically, if I was a betting man, I would say someone's back channeled there. Someone has talked, because all these platforms were all talking to each other back then as well. Like, I mean, that was going on for years, since like 2016. There's a Reddit guy, and the Reddit guy talks to the Slack guy, and the Slack guy talks to the Twitter guys, and the Twitter guys talk to the Twitch guys, and the Twitch guys talk to the Discord guys, and everyone's all talking to each other. And this is why, by the way, it was like there was all this like overreach where if you got banned on one platform, you might just wake up the next day and my Patreon's gone. Why? Oh well, you tweeted something we don't like. You, on a separate platform, said something that goes against our values on our platform. Yeah, but I didn't say it on your platform. Doesn't matter. Bye. It's like, well, what the fuck? This is mental. This is crazy. So there was a lot of that going on at the time. And so if I was guessing, I would just say somebody from Twitch, they went to Discord and said, this is the thing. And then Discord went, oh, okay, well, we'll just get rid of him off our partner program. Can't be associated with it.
What if you were halfway? You're halfway.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm not speculating to try and make you give up the information, right? I'm not doing that. I'm just saying that would have been my first thought, just looking at the
From what I
pieces of the
understand,
puzzle.
Discord found the same thing that Twitch did. Discord did not make their move of unpartnering him just based on what they had heard. They did find, from what I understand, the same pieces of information on Discord that Twitch found on their Twitch Whispers. Right. However, how the information initially got to Discord, your speculation could be very close.
Yeah.
Much closer than you think.
Yeah, I mean, and this is probably another reason why they arbitrate. Because, like, you can't be doing that. That's got to be, like, a potential GDPR contract breach, like, whatever it is. Like, and by the way, listen, obviously, given the subject, I'm not going to be sympathetic to the doc at all. But I don't think platforms should be talking to each other like that, frankly.
No, they should not.
Not in all but the most serious of cases. And maybe this is an example of that, but in general, by and large, nah. I mean, because, again, without rehashing old war stories, that's what Reddit did. That's what Reddit did to me. That's what Reddit and Riot did to me. They fully violated my fucking privacy. Sharing information and innuendos. Riot employees talking to Reddit moderators and, in some cases, Reddit staff. And Reddit staff feeding information back to them about things I was supposedly doing on their platform. I mean, that's fucking crazy.
It is absurd.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was a...
By the way, to go into this, I don't know if you had spoken about it. This is why everyone out there, including a lot of those right-wing people especially, want to see the logs. Y'all motherfuckers, and Dan, who was bugging me for 2 hours on this thing, you want to see the logs? You want, okay, let's just disregard this specific situation. You want a technology company, a major social media company, to divulge private direct messages between two users. You want to just open up Pandora's box and fuck up the entire way that every social media company runs? No, you're never going to get direct communication between two users from Twitter, from Twitch, from Facebook, from Instagram. That would be fucking stupid. To even ask for that means that you have no understanding about how things work.
Of course. And
then on top of it, for you to want to see sexually explicit messages and conversations with a minor not only is illegal, but is insane. Why would you want to see that? You physically need to see it for you. Oh, okay. Now I believe it. I believe the other 15 journalistic reports or things that have come out, but now I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy. Like, people are like, but this is what I mean. Like, when it comes to like certain favorites, the evidentiary bar gets set so high in journalism, it's almost impossible to meet in their mind. Like, put it this way, I'm pretty confident in your report. It looks to be well sourced. It confirms important details that are relevant to how what is an appropriate contextual reaction, right? But it's not just you. It was corroborated in The Verge as well. I'm pretty sure Cecilia did something as well. So it's like, okay, I mean, it's highly improbable that it's one source going to all of these outlets.
It is not. I can confidently say it is not.
So we've now got multiple sources confirming it. We've had, I mean, as I keep saying, I mean, the doc did admit it, like, and also we've had other current Twitch employees and former Twitch employees come out and go, oh yeah, that's a thing that happened. I'm glad it's out. So, like, to then, on top of all of that, go, yeah, well, unless I see the logs. Like, I don't know, brother, you're lost at that point. Like, I mean, there are, I mean, dude, you fucking see, like, think about how, again, I'm not, not saying any crime was committed here, but I mean, just as a example, an analog, You in crime reporting, not every crime is caught on camera. Not every crime is like recorded. But when I report it as a journalist, I have to write up what happened, on the night of and da-da-da. People don't read that and go, well, without a video. You wouldn't say, without a recording. You wouldn't say that. Without seeing the DNA evidence. You wouldn't. What you have is you have details of the crime, details of the trial, details of the sentencing, and it's essentially you're trusting on the reporter to accurately convey that information. So why is it different here?
Because I think there were several problems like compacted on top of each other. One is that Twitch specifically has caused so much distrust with so many bad decisions.
Correct.
And the way that they've handled like normal bans that have nothing to do with like extremely serious, potentially criminal matters such as this, and not releasing like why things had happened, or allowing streamers to lie, which they do all the fucking time about like why they were suspended or banned. But Twitch has never had a good hold on terms of having the community trust things that they do. And then secondly, you have an entire huge wave of people that do not trust specifically video game journalists even more than they don't trust journalists. There's a huge portion of people that have no trust for journalists in general, whether it's left or right or center, or it actually doesn't even matter your political affiliation. They just do not trust journalists at all. And they definitely associate a lot of journalism with being a lib. Like, you could be a conservative journalist, but that doesn't like come into account a lot of people's brains and how they think about this. And then on top of it, they don't trust gaming journalists even further because of Gamergate,
which is fine.
I totally understand why they could think that way, but I feel like both these things happening at the same time is why there has been so much more even like non-belief from people. Even after my report and Cecilia's report and The Verge's report and Cody saying it, like, none of that matters. To a lot of people, it's like, oh, all you're doing is rehashing Cody's tweet. We had 3 articles that all they did was rehash Cody's tweet, when obviously that's not the case.
No.
Not only is there additional information, but legal teams had to review it. That is why they are in, publications to begin with. It's not just a tweet. It is not the same thing. But people don't have media literacy, and people don't give a shit about journalists, so none of that context matters at all. And I think that's why there has been so much the public not believing anything until they get quote unquote proof, which they will never get and they will never have. It's just a way for them to keep kicking the goalposts down forever.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to talk about any of the other stuff that's kind of happened in the aftermath, because I don't know if it's really in your kind of like purview.
We could. I do have to.
You need a bounce.
Like 15 minutes. So.
All right, yeah. I mean, listen, it's been good to shoot the shit about this, but I mean, obviously, I guess I don't know. Have you been able to verify there was another individual that like leaked DMs from 2017?
A trans person, I believe, on Twitter.
Yes, she described herself as a trans sex worker.
I did reach out to her. She did not respond to my messages. So, no. Cannot verify.
Yeah, because I was like, I mean, that's just gone out there. And it's like, I mean, like, that was kind of, like, embarrassing. It's from the same, like, time period. And, like, some of the chat logs there are just like, Jesus. Like... but I mean,
considering
also
it's from the same time period.
Yeah, and there's definitely a photo of them having met, which I don't know if you've seen.
Yeah, no, I saw it. I did. So I cannot confirm it all, but it wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah, I mean, just for those, like, it obviously generated a lot of memes because, as I joked about earlier, if these are to be believed as being genuine, there's a bit. Let me just read the funny bits. Feel like releasing one right now. Should I let it go or hold on? Then you're gonna. It goes down here, and there's a bit where. These are on, I think, Insta, and he said, "I'm gripping now." Boom. which obviously has generated a lot of memes. I'm gripping. Boom is like.
I gotta say they definitely seem like tweets that would be sent. If she was making up these conversations, she's doing an excellent job.
It's just so fucking wild, dude. I'm gripping. Boom. I'm gonna next time I'm with somebody, I'm gonna try just saying boom as I ejaculate and just see how they take it. Like, just gonna make that a thing. Just see how it plays out. Like, just, boom. It's gonna be great. So I'll let you know. I'll report back on that one.
Won't scare anybody away, I'm sure.
No, definitely not. So there was that. Also, I mean, listen, when he made well, not a tweet longer, it's just a long tweet now. And he was saying like, "Oh, I'm not going anywhere," you know, and he was doing the Wolf of Wall Street bit. I didn't make the point on stream where I was like, "Listen, that's just like delusional talk because." He will be a pariah now. I mean, I'm astounded. First of all, that like, I mean, do we even know if YouTube are going to allow him to stay on the platform now?
Well, since my report came out, following that, YouTube did fully demonetize him.
Yeah, I'm going to get into that. I'll bring that up after you went. But yeah, he's been demonetized, but not outright banned. I mean,
no,
you know, I mean, is he crazy enough to stream even if he's not making any money to prove a point? But I mean, like, he lost. I mean, like, there's the endorsement deals, like Turtle Beach, obviously the San Francisco 49ers. They're done.
Got removed from 2K.
Yeah, he was on. Wasn't he on like a cover?
He was in the game. There was a skin in the game.
Yeah, a skin in the game. I mean, yeah. Considering Kobe's on the cover, I don't know, but whatever. I mean, like, I don't think he realized at the time he said it.
All the Lakers fans in your chat are very upset right now.
Yeah. Well, fuck them. Fuck the Lakers, right?
I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Fucking Richard's an honorary Knicks fan, by the way. All of you don't know. Since he came to New York, he got to see live one of the fucking most entertaining fucking games in Knicks history.
It definitely helped. It definitely helped that you were against Philly, because fuck Philly. Fuck Philly forever in every sport ever. So that's all. So I mean, that definitely helped, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
That got me into it. But anyway, so yeah, I don't think he realized. Like, PC Gamer have done a good report. I'll go over it once you're bailed. But they've kind of like collated. I just don't see like why would he even want to come back? Like, why bother, man?
He did say this before my report. I don't really think my report is going to change his mind or anything. I mean, I do think it solidifies people's opinions and about the matter, but I feel like if you're him and if he is really serious about coming back, couldn't he take like, you know, a whole right-wing possibility, go to Rumble?
No.
Should they take a gigantic deal from Rumble?
Let me tell you, I know this because obviously, as you know, I've been on both sides of the political aisle, even in media, and let me tell you, the one thing that will absolutely end you on both sides is anything like this. The right will not entertain it, and the left, I mean, apart from the like lunatic fringe talking about like minor attractive people or whatever, they won't entertain it either. And you know, we remember, think about all the crazy shit like Milo Yiannopoulos said, right? And what got Milo cancelled in the end was that he told a almost certainly fake story about how he was groomed as a boy, and he thinks that's good and natural. And
yes,
and that all the hit pieces went out at like 8 a.m. all across multiple publications, and that was that. He got the call.
Milo's super straight now, by the way.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, he wasn't he running a conversion.
Yeah.
Running a fucking conversion therapy class or something.
That worked really quickly.
I saw it. I saw a tweet, and it was like it was again a long tweet, and I think it was like, my apology for being a sodomite, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, Milo. Like, yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Hey, he grew to be Kanye's tour manager and campaign manager.
Yeah, what a fucking dream team that is. Yay, Milo and Nick Fuentes, brilliant. Brilliant guy. Great job, guys.
And Sneeko somewhere in there too. I feel like that is a dream team.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ, get me out. But yeah, but anyway, so no, I don't think there's even an option. Like Rumble aren't going to stick their brand on that. You know, I mean, because it's interesting, isn't it? It's like, yeah, they'll walk right up all the Chuddersphere will walk right up to the fucking line of going, it's innocent, it's a conspiracy. And then it's like, as soon as he did that admission, yeah, I did text that miner. They're all like, well, that's me done. It's like, wait, all the other stuff? That wasn't it? It took that. You weren't even a little bit, like, nervous? You know. And the other thing that I think's been embarrassing has been watching all of the streamers come out and do this, like, weird, like, oh, guys, I'm just giving you an update because everyone's been asking me about Dr. Disrespect, and I just want you to know it's really hard, man. I played Warzone with him once, and it's just really upset me, dude. It's like, fuck off. Clowns. Like, they'll even turn something like this into content. I'm aware of the irony that I've turned it into.
Of course.
But I'm at least substantively looking at the story. I'm not making it about me, you know.
No, I mean, that has almost been one of my points this entire fucking time. Okay, I shut the fuck up because I made a stupid tweet, and it was my responsibility to shut the fuck up and try at least not to make it about me. Everyone else on the internet just wanted to use this for as their drama endorphin engagement videos or streams or tweets or content or whatever. No one actually gives a shit about the victim or the situation or any of this. All they've cared about this entire time is themselves and how they could use it and monetize this for content.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Which also, by the way, I mean, and I'll this can be the final point, and then I'll let you go. But think about trying to report in a landscape where everyone is trying to drama farm. Imagine what it's like to have to wade into that shit, you know. And you're not like, you know, you're not like you're not a TMZ style like publication. You're trying to treat this seriously, but everyone around you is just like lying and. They've all got their own little fucking interests in it. Like, hey, this comes out. If he was to be usurped, I could be the number one streamer. Maybe I could be the face of the brand. And, like, you know, all these people, like, it's just a nightmare. It's a nightmare landscape to try and negotiate, frankly. And it's why I think you see so much, like, irresponsible reporting around it. I think there's people that don't do their due diligence and they get sucked in and they get caught out by, like, bullshit sources, and they just run stories like uncritically, you know. And it's happened to, like, you know, Jake Lucky, for example, and it's like, listen, I'm never letting that happen to me. I'm never being that guy. I'm never not throwing away, you know, over 20 years of journalistic reputation to get clicks. Like, who gives a fuck? I'm fine. Like, I'll be the guy that, like, oh, if Richard says it's right, I'll be that guy. Like, I'll take that over being, oh, I got 500,000 Twitter followers. See you at the Esports World Cup, big homies. Look at my shirt collection. Who the fuck wants to be that guy? Not me.
Well, I really hope to people out there, at least in your audience, I can return to being like you, that guy.
Rod,
that people can always believe when I say some shit.
Yeah, the offer's always open. We can start doing content together, mate. I've said it.
Well, now, look, as you fucking know, that was the plan anyway, but my conscience, you know, really has been relieved a lot.
Good. Well, you know.
Over the last week.
Get your fucking head out your ass. Put down
I'm
the
fucking
bong.
ready. I am so. What are you talking about? I would never do illicit substances, either on a broadcast in front of a national television. I would never look like I was on crack cocaine.
By the
or
way,
anything.
still like the
do that.
Like, I know, obviously, that's off a chain reaction that ruined your life, but that is still one of the funniest things. Like, of all time, like that you going on ESPN looking like Nosferatu is one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen, dude.
I forgive you.
Yeah, listen, and we obviously we've squared it all away privately. Yeah, it was a horrible thing that I did, and I take full responsibility. And
it was very funny. Don't fucking lie. Even to this day, it was extremely fucking.
It was extremely funny, but sometimes funny things can be cruel. you know, you can do something. There is an inherent comedy in cruelty. And it was an awful thing. And I'm glad that we've been able to get past it and become friends again, and that you forgive me, and that forgiveness has nourished my soul and made me a better person. So thank you for that.
Of course.
Now let's talk about D-Man. Whatever, fuck it. But anyway, yeah. I mean, just any final thoughts?
Again, really, I hope people do trust me a little bit more now than a week and a half ago, and don't think I'm a total fucking asshole. There's a lot of reasons not to like me or trust me or think I'm a good person for so many other good reasons, but just not this. All of that would be good. 2, the Richard and Rod show is coming soon. Name is being
Dick and Rod.
The Dick and Rod.
Yeah.
Rod and the Dick.
Rod and the Dick.
It does go a lot of ways. We're workshopping the name.
Big Dick and Hot Rod. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And it's one of those like soundboard radio shows, like bong, awooga. It's one of them. Shit talk radio.
It's been your best suggestion so far. I'm actually we're running with this one. That's so far, Big Dick and Hot Rod. It's the number one choice.
You can just picture it, like you just actually picture it coming out, like when you listen to those like shit radio stations and you're like driving across Texas or something. You're live with Big Dick and Hot Rod. Coming up now, an interview.
We're gripping it. We're gripping it hard.
Grip up, everyone. Boom. Yeah, it's good, man. But yeah, so I like obviously
we have the intro all worked out.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, just funny story, which regulars on the stream know. I don't know if you know this, but when I was at Breitbart, Milo wanted to do we had a contract with Sirius Radio, right? And Milo wanted to do a radio show with me, and it was going to be called Milo and Dick, and we worked out, like, we pitched to like Sirius. And I always think about how ruined my life would have been if that had happened. Like I'd probably be fucking homeless now. You wouldn't.
It's so unfortunate. We could have gotten so much great content from that.
I know, but my life would have been over. Like I'd absolutely dodged that bullet big time. And the thing is, man, I was so into it at the time. I was like thinking, this is great. What a great idea this will be. Like, let's totally do it.
Bro, you could have been Trump's campaign advisor.
I know,
like, while he was in office.
Could have been. I know it could have been like
possible.
Scaramucci or someone. You know?
Yeah, you could have been Scaramucci.
The ugly fat Scaramucci.
Imagine you as the White House press.
Well, I'm gonna just say this: I couldn't fuck it up as bad as what's happening in the DNC right now. Like, I'm confident if you gave me that job tomorrow.
Wait. What are you talking about? One, Biden won the debate. He did a great job. I don't know if we were all watching the same thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
But at the end of the debate, he was alive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, that is the main thing. And by the way, he did 4 minutes with a teleprompter to talk about the Supreme Court ruling. I noticed he didn't stroke out or shit his pants. So we're so back. We're so back, America.
We are so back.
We are so fucking back. Can't wait.
We're fucked.
Yeah, I know. It's sad, isn't it? It's sad. I mean, like, there's still a chance that you keep Trump out the White House if Biden stands down immediately. Because the thing people aren't...
For who?
Well, listen, this
Kamala?
is the thing. Yes, I think that works. Because here's the thing. I think she's awful. But here's the point. Trump is like a terrible candidate. Most people in their soul don't want to vote for him. It's just they can't in good conscience vote for a fucking someone with dementia. They just can't. They won't do it. It sort of defiles and, you know, irredeemably the office of the president. Some people still hold on to this nominal idea that the fucking presidency, you know, has all this dignity and sanctity around it. Of course, that hasn't been true since fucking Bill Clinton was putting cigars in fucking interns' pussies and smoking them later as a little flavor saver, and literally doing it in the Oval Office. But whatever, that's fine. Some people still believe in it, and that's the problem Biden's got. And his rating, his polls, they can't go up anymore. That is over. Now, Kamala, she was at 40. I saw a poll. It was like 43 to 40. No, it was 45 to 47. So 2 points. You can theoretically make her polling numbers go up. It's going to be hard, but you can do it. Gavin Newsom was 43 to 47. You can make his numbers go up. For sure you can make his numbers go up. So this is what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, I know it's unprecedented. I know there's some fucking electors who are like, well, we went for Biden and we can't change ours. About, it's like 2,000 of them or something. That's fine. But you've got to change horses midstream now. It has to happen. Or like, if I was calling it now, gun to the head, I think Trump's going to win by like 4 or 5 points, man. Like, I think it's going to be. I think. When, like, I saw polling today that had him 10 points up in Georgia, which, by the way, I cannot believe that. I can't believe it's going to swing that hard back. I mean, 4 or 5 short, 10, crazy talk. But that's where we're at. That's what's coming out, all off the back of the debate. And it's, by the way, this is a type of problem that doesn't get better. Maybe you could restore confidence. How long before it happens again? How long before Brandon fucks up again, falls over? But he's wearing these comedically large shoes. Have you noticed this? To stop him falling over. Yeah. Like, he's wearing like orthopedic club foot shoes now, because like, they have to like balance him out because he can't walk anywhere. It's like there is no way you can go from now to November without another senior moment. It cannot be achieved. There isn't.
No, there's no way.
Yeah. So
there's just no way.
So basically, this is a suicide pact if they keep him in. And but also, I know you got to go. But final thought: no one wants to come on board for this thought, right? I believe this. I believe there is no worse time for the Democrats to lose, and so actually, if they do lose this election, which if they run with Biden, they will. If they do lose this election, it's actually one of the best things that can happen long term for the Democrat Party. Maybe not America. I don't know how them 4 years with Trump are going to play out, but it would force them to get rid of the Clintonistas, the Obamaites, the Bidenites, this weird little enclave that essentially sees the Democrat Party. And all they are is they're like essentially trad cons. They're a center right party that just has this big progressive tumor growing out of its fucking head. They all can't get along. It's not a cohesive party. They're not a party of ideas. They're not a party of... I want the Dems to be good. I want them to be good for America. I want them to be capable of winning elections, not through fuckery and bullshit and posturing and nonsense. I want it to be a battle of ideas, and I want their ideas to be better. And by the way, while I think that's true in a lot of areas, see Roe v. Wade, abortion, etc., whatever, that should be the landscape that should be the arena where political battles are fought, not all this other fucking dumb shit. And so maybe long term, because I'm not just thinking about this election. I'm thinking about, like, what does it look like? What does America look like in 10 years, 20 years, depending on what happens here? I want the DNC to get better. And a good DNC is good for America, same as like a moderate GOP is good for America. And so I want those things. And post-Trump, we're probably going to get a flurry of, like, because Trump's a disaster. He can't pick winners anymore. He doesn't win. This is the biggest myth in politics. He's only being held up as a viable candidate. Like, by the way, if you didn't have Biden's performance to contrast, Trump's performance was terrible. He was all over the road. It
was terrible.
Yeah,
but
he was talking absolute bollocks.
It doesn't even matter.
But it doesn't matter because Trump can get to the end of a sentence, whereas for Biden, the end of a sentence, he may as well be scaling Everest. So this is the issue. So it's like I want the DNC to be good, and sometimes if you want your political party to get better, you have to deny them your vote. And if they run Biden, they're telling you we're deeply unserious and we don't care. We don't care about what the average American thinks when 7 out of 10 Americans think Biden should drop out. So, that's where we're at. Anyway, great to catch up. I don't know when I'll be stateside again. I'm guessing you're not coming to Europe or any esports events anytime soon. Because I'm back in the game. I'm going to be at events.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Great.
I'm going to be doing events all in Q4.
All right, so anyone not owned by the Saudis, so pretty much nothing left. I'll see you at the Fighting Games community.
No, I've actually got some bad. I've got some bad news. The Saudis finally got to me. I had a tweet from them, and they just basically it was a Richard Lewis shaped suitcase, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm in. My fear of death has prompted prompted me. But anyway, yeah, look, man, great reporting on this. As I believe it was Mikhail Klementov said, Genie, I set you free. And no doubt we'll talk again soon for fucking Big Dick and the Hot Rod.
That people should expect Big Dick and the Hot Rod coming soon. All I'll say before I leave is I did reach out to a couple sources to try to find out how much they're getting paid for this EWC partner shit. The 3 answers I've gotten are, I can say more than $1, LOL.
Right.
Less than Tyler 1, a second person.
Okay.
And the third person said, bruh, I ain't snitching, it's a lot.
Okay, great. Well, I mean, by the way, based on what the Chuddersphere has been saying, you should publish that uncritically. You should run with it, Rod. You've got it. So, yeah, anyway, appreciate your time, brother. Keep in touch. I'll talk to you soon. Be well. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thanks, brother.
No
See
worries.
you soon.
Later, dog. All right, so there you go. That was Rod chewing the fat about his reporting around Dr. Disrespect, and now we will get into the end of the Dr. Disrespect. Probably the last time we'll ever have to talk about him. It's all Jova, as you might say. You can see the Dr. Disrespect fallout continues as YouTube, 2K Games, Turtle Beach, the NFL, and others cut ties with the disgraced streamer. And you can, go back, pull up the tape. I did say people are going to walk away from him in droves. It's the one, you can't be, who wants their brand affiliated with that? It doesn't matter how many views you gain. Which, by the way, also, views, they're going to drop off a cliff. I don't think he's quite ready for how sad it would be if he even did a comeback stream. Yeah, the first one, everyone's going to be rubbernecking and there's going to be, morbid curiosity. But then after that, who really wants to stick around? Unless you're just going to troll and grief them. But anyway, yeah, so these are all... First, we had the Midnight Society, which we talked about previously. That was, of course, his own games company. They're out. You can see that he did the San Francisco 49ers, and they did a tweet saying, we take these developments seriously and will not be working with him in the future. That we also had other deals that were, gone, they're out. But most importantly is the fact that YouTube has demonetized his channel. Even if he were to stream now, the capacity for donations and the equivalent of subscriptions, he doesn't have it. It's not a viable path to making money anymore. It's over. That part of your life is over. PC Gamer also did a pretty good article. And you see, after years of coasting on Dr. Disrespect's fame, it's hard to imagine a happy ending for Midnight Society. Yes, all of their... You should read this, actually. It's a good read. All of their marketing was around the doc. All of their projects were around the doc. The doc was the face of the brand. And when I say that, I don't mean, the face of the brand like he was the face of Twitch, when obviously there's all these other... No, he is the face. Everything around him, the art style, everything. He just is the brand. And it's gone. It's over. So I can't imagine a world where he comes back. And I gotta say, I think the reporting around this story has been good. I'm glad that we finally got there and got to the end. And, there's no need for anyone to be doing any hand-wringing or poring over this stuff anymore. He's admitted it. The truth is out. It's been verified now by multiple journalistic sources. That's going to be good enough for me.